Hey everyone, it's Nicole with my weekly broadcast, and I really debated making this video, and I'll tell you why. So, first of all, just warning you, my lighting's a little weird, and I forgot my ring light at home. Things TikTok made me buy. But why did I hold off on making a video about TikTok? Well, first of all, I'm going to be 40 years old in a couple of months. And I, for a while, thought that I was maybe a little too old for TikTok. I have thought about using TikTok kind of back about a year ago when we were all kind of heading into this whole pandemic thing. But at the time, I was like living with my mother. I had just gone through a breakup. There was just kind of a lot going on. And I didn't feel like investing a lot in kind of learning how a new platform worked. Finally, I decided about a month ago that I was going to make an account on TikTok and not really tell anyone. So I'm kind of coming out today that I'm on TikTok. So if you do follow me there, please know that I have made a TikTok business account. I haven't posted anything there yet because I'm still learning how to just use it as a person and figure out what its different use cases are. And honestly, I'm just kind of enjoying myself there. So if you follow me there, you're going to see Nicole stuff. You're not going to see business stuff. So feel free to follow me there if you want. You'll see my handle here in a second. But yeah, so what I decided to do is if you have been thinking about TikTok or have been hesitant to use TikTok or aren't really sure what's going on TikTok and just want like somebody to explain it to you, that's what I'm here for. Now, a lot of people in the online world would classify me as an elder millennial. If you don't know what that term means, Elisa Schlesinger, she's a comedian and I cannot pronounce her last name. Sorry if she ever watches this, but she kind of has a whole bit about the elder millennial thing. Basically, I'm like at this really interesting point between Gen X and millennial. I've got some Gen X qualities, I've got some millennial qualities, but I kind of fall in terms of birth year wise, kind of right in the middle where I could go either way. So I'm an elder millennial, which I think is just a really funny term. So anyway, I joined TikTok and I am here to tell you about it in case you're thinking about joining it or just want to know how like you could use it for business or whatever. So consider this your like 15-minute little tour of TikTok. Now, the first thing I'm going to say is I was trying to think of what I would compare this website to, if I could compare it to something. And what I would compare it to actually is kind of like PechaKucha or PechaKucha, depending on who you've had pronounce it for you. So if you haven't heard of PechaKucha, basically PechaKucha is short form presentations. They are, actually, I'll just share the screen with you. I have like the PechaKucha website on here. Now, we did this in Bar Harbor for like, I don't know, 5 years. We had these events sort of quarterly, unofficially. But if you wanted to officially be a PechaKucha, you have to register with them. But basically, it's visual storytelling. And what happened was, I guess there was these people who like to talk a lot at their presentations. So they made this format. It's 20 by 20. So you have 20 chosen images, and they're each up on the screen for 20 seconds, and you talk. So the idea is that it's a kind of fast-paced presentation. So if you do the math, I can't do the math because I'm really bad at third grade math in my head. But the basic idea is it's between 7 and 8 minutes. So regardless, if you attend a night of PechaKucha, you're going to see a bunch of presentations. You might see like 10, 12, 8 presentations, right? And the idea is that you might see a topic and not necessarily be super jazzed about it. But the idea is, because it's short, I can sit through a 7-minute talk about just about anything, even if I'm not interested, right? So, and that's the general idea, is to keep things short so that, and the idea being that if you're watching 10 presentations, you might like, 3 or 4 of them, but the rest of them didn't take up a lot of your life. But the other thing I think about PechaKucha that people really like is that you're much more likely to run into random information. So I wouldn't necessarily go to a 2-hour talk about making violins, but I would definitely watch a 7-minute talk about it. One of the people I follow on TikTok is a violin maker. Someone is asking me, I'm a tank, is this live? Yes, it is live. So thanks for watching. That's just a good reminder. If you are watching this stream and want to leave a comment, if your profile is public, I should be able to see it in my software. So feel free, if you have questions or whatever, you can leave a comment and I'll be able to see them during the broadcast. You can also leave a comment after the broadcast and I'll answer them too. But so basically, I think that basically TikTok is online PechaKucha because it is very similar. Now, how it works is, and I have some examples here too. So what I'm going to do is like kind of get myself out and like show some examples from the platform. But the basic idea is you have a profile where you can follow and be followed. Now, actually, before I move on to this, the other thing I need to mention, and I would be remiss not to mention, is that a lot of people are a little hesitant on TikTok, myself included, for waiting so long because of perceived security issues. So basically, there's, and you can go read up on this if you want. Now, I'm not telling you to join this platform if you don't feel like you're particularly safe, like your information is being used, that you're being served. But I don't know. I guess the conclusion I finally came to is like, Google's already watching me, everybody's already watching me. I have no privacy. If I'm taking part in anything online, I have no privacy. That's kind of, I guess, what I've come to understand. Now, I don't want people necessarily knowing where I live or things like that, but yeah. So here we are. So please look into the platform and decide if you feel like the security risks or the other things about it are a little too unsavory for you. I did want to mention that because I don't want to gloss that over, because it's definitely a concern for a lot of people, and it definitely is a concern for me as I use the platform. But back to kind of how it works, which is that everybody, you sign up just like any other social media account and you have a platform. So I will show you mine. I'll just make it big. So here is the platform. So as you see here, I'm following way more people than are following me. And the idea is that I can follow people, they can follow me. We can only message each other if we're following each other. And yeah, so that's basically how it is. And so I have videos these are all videos I've put out. And as you see, it's mostly just me. But also, and then I have some liked videos. Now you see there's a little padlock here. So you can't see all of the videos that I liked. I could make this visible to the public if I wanted, but I don't know. I'm just having fun. You know what I mean? I feel like this is it's not safe place, but it's every other social platform I use is like going to work. So when I log into Facebook, I'm at work. When I log into Pinterest, I'm at work. When I log into Instagram, I'm at work. And so for the past month, I've just got to play on this new social platform. A couple of people have found me there for my real life, but in general, I've just been putting stuff out there and seeing kind of what is interesting. Now, the follow and be followed thing is, something that we're all familiar with. The other thing about TikTok that you're probably familiar with is it's a video format. And so when you open to create a new video in TikTok, you can pick between a 15-second and a 60-second kind of template. Now, if you open up the 15-second template, say your thing in 5 seconds and press save, your video is going to be 5 seconds. So you can make things shorter if you want, but the longest they can be is 60 seconds. And there are a few different video styles. By the way, I brought my dog into work today because we got a snowstorm and she seemed like she was super sad about me leaving for work. So if you see a dog walking around the background, I totally know she's there and she belongs to me. So yeah, so there's, these short form videos, and they can be, a lot of, there's a lot of different kinds of content, some of which I'll show you some examples here. Hold on. Let me mute my thing. Hey. Remind me never to bring my dog into work again today. Okay. All right. So we got Boss Twin watching us on Twitter. Hey, Boss Twin. I don't know what those emojis mean. I think I'm not cool enough because I'm an elder millennial. But yeah, so the idea is it's short form video, and some of them are fun. Some of them are sort of whimsical. Some of them are definitely businessy, and some of them are really educational. I've actually learned stuff on this platform, which I think is really cool and not something I was necessarily expecting. So let's look at a couple just examples of the TikTok. I'm going to remove myself from the stream and add some video also that'll maybe chill my dog out a little bit. So a couple of these are funny because why not? I just want to give you an idea of kind of how people are using it. So some of these are fake scenarios, and this is one of them.
Oh, hey Lorraine, you're on early.
Am I? I thought this meeting started a half an hour ago.
Nope, it starts in 2 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Sarah, do you think you may be able to drive this meeting just because I am in an airport parking lot here in Orlando? I gotta fly back to Erie in a little bit for my daughter's orthodontia dress rehearsal. Do you think you could drive this?
Yes, that was I can definitely drive. I see Meredith and Toby's names in the waiting room. I'm gonna go ahead and let them in. Hi Meredith, hi Toby, nice to see both of your faces. We have a busy agenda, so I'm gonna get started.
Hey, thanks, Sarah. And you know what? You can probably drop off because I got a lot of stuff I got to talk through with Toby and Meredith here, so.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and log off and I will put my head up my butt.
So yeah, like there's a few fun ones. I'm going to show you one more fun one, and then we'll talk a little bit about some different use cases. Got a really good question from Sasha about how TikTok is different than Instagram, and I'll totally address that a little bit later in the broadcast. But here's one more that
my dog's been lonely, so I made her a dating profile. At first we could only find humans. We almost gave up. But then we found Sean. She was happy, so I swiped right and he super liked us. Conversation went great. So we decided to meet up. She was nervous and excited. But when we got there, Sean looked different. He catfished us. She decided her human is all she needs.
So as you see, you have some editing capabilities. A lot of people use an app called InShot, which like lets you edit video on your phone and lets you add things like title slides, lets you clip things and things like that. But basically the idea is that it can be a little bit produced. It can be kind of more skit. Like there's just a lot of people kind of having some fun with the platform, which I think is really neat. Now, what makes TikTok different than Instagram? So for those of you who don't know, Instagram relatively recently released a feature called Reels. So those are 15-second videos. Gee, I wonder what that's trying to do. But there's a couple of features that are built into TikTok that I think make it sort of unique. One of them is called a duet feature. And the idea with a duet is that you have side-by-side video, and so you can be reacting to someone else's video. So if you watch any kind of reaction content on YouTube, you might have seen this where like people will react to like movies or things like that. But this is like you're right next to somebody else in the clip. I was going to show you. I can show you that. I guess I did a duet the other day. And what's nice is the creator is notified when you do the duet. So I'm just pulling it up on the screen now and I'll share it. So I have a TikTok open in my browser. So there it is. I'm not putting the sound on so I can talk, but basically is like I had a duet with this creator, and basically I shared kind of her content with my audience by duetting this, and I was able to kind of react to points that she was making, which I thought were really good. So so that's one thing I feel like that's unique with TikTok is it kind of encourages you to interact with other users on the platform, even if you don't know them. Like I don't know this person, I'm not really friends with them. But the other unique thing about TikTok that lets you interact with people is a feature called Stitch. So a stitch is where you take a clip of a video and then you add it to your video. So for example, one of the prompts I recently responded to was, so someone made a video and said what's an expensive thing you've bought that was totally worth the money? And so I just clipped her saying that, and then I added my thing at the end of it. So a stitch is more of using a little bit of someone's content and then adding on to it. A duet is reacting, in real time to the full length of the content. So there's a lot of kind of people putting out interesting questions, and then, you can follow basically everybody who answered what's a really expensive thing you bought that was totally worth it. I can go back and I can see all the people who have reacted to that, who have stitched it. So yeah, it's interesting in that it's allows you to make a video that's really interactive. Now, because it's interactive and everybody's doing it from their cell phones, there's also something about, and you'll probably notice if you go look at my videos, I don't right now I'm wearing I'm wearing makeup. I try to do my hair today. Like I even put on mascara. But in those videos that I do on TikTok, I'm just usually at home and I'm usually just totally just doing my thing. So point being is that like there is this expected like sort of real life things, laid backness, I think, of the platform, which I really appreciate as somebody who has been online in sort of a performative way for 13 years with the kind of work that I do. So besides those unique features, besides the stitching and the duet, there's also something called trending sounds. And hold on. So I took part in one of these, and I'll go grab it now. And I'll put it on the screen and I'll play the sound for you just because it involves the dog and you heard her barking earlier, so you might appreciate it. So let me just share this back, and it loops, right, the video. So it's gonna start over here in a second. So I meant to check if that sound actually works before this broadcast. I thought I had until I realized I was playing this, but so there's these trending sounds or songs that people use, and yeah, you can make up a dance to them, but also people just use them in really fun ways. Like there's this one sound that people say, so put on a killer outfit and walk at 1 point something speed and tell me you don't feel like a bad insert B word. And then the song is like walk, walk, walk. And so it's all these people who've like put on, really cool outfits. Maybe like Vice President Kamala Harris, puts on her suit and she like, yeah. And it's just like people just feeling themselves, like going for a walk. So it doesn't necessarily need to be this hugely choreographed thing for you to take part in a sound on TikTok. And also a lot of people have used TikTok to discover new music, new artists. So if you look at the logo of TikTok, and I'll throw on I had it in my initial title slide here. It looks like a little musical instrument. You know what I mean? It looks like a little music note, I should say, not a musical instrument. So yeah, anyway, I have a few other examples that I thought I would sort of pull up that I think are interesting sort of business use cases for TikTok. But the main thing I think that I really like about TikTok, and that other people do too, is that it's really easy to run into random people. So if we look at Facebook and Instagram, we hear about the algorithms, right? And all the stuff that's going on with the algorithms. And the thing is that, it's hard to like just run into stuff or whatever, or beat the algorithm if you're not taking out ads. Whereas on TikTok, you could post a video and it could just go viral. Like there's that possibility. Whereas on Facebook, I feel like I could post something and I'm not necessarily expecting it or even thinking it might go viral because it's just not really a possibility. So, the idea of TikTok is, I'm watching my For You page and it's giving me some random content. So I have one tab that's all the people I follow. And so I can see that, but I could also go to my For You tab and it's just going to show me random content. Like I follow a guy, a seamster, I don't know, a male sewer who is, I think he's in Florida, and he makes these like jumpsuits, just really interesting. I think anyway. But yeah. And so here's an example I thought was really neat. So of somebody so this woman went viral, like she got written about on the news and everything, but I kind of saw this video, as it was going viral. So she's a musician, but she made this funny video about the icicles in Montreal. So the thing I think with TikTok that we need to understand is that you might be famous for something that you don't actually, that has actually nothing to do with your profession. So let's meet the icicle lady.
Rating Montreal's deadliest icicles. Starting with this one, very bad position, directement above your apartment, and just when you think you're safe, you look up, there is a second one, I give it 8 out of 10. Ah oui, the famous double trouble. There are 2 rows of icicles, doubles the icicles, doubles the pain, 9 out of 10. Oh, these are very small, no problem, 3 out of 10, don't worry. Okay, you might think no problem, but imagine you walk underneath, they fall on you one by one, tuck, 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 you are now a porcupine-cicle. Oh my god, are you kidding me? This could kill your whole family. It's a 20 out of 10. Oh, and careful in Montreal, people throw the snow off the roof.
So what happened after that is, so she was just talking about icicles and being funny, but then she noticed people were like, so people were searching, she's a musician, and people started streaming her stuff on Spotify because they saw her on TikTok and she was funny. So yeah, I think it's really neat to have a place to sort of, I guess, express your individuality and have it maybe augment your business. So if you follow this woman, you can go to a later post and she says, yeah, every time I go on Spotify now, somebody is streaming my music, and it wasn't like that before. And she said she got written about in all these publications because of her little icicle commentary. Now, this next one I was going to show you is something I did. So I experiment. So there's some of my content that's just me personal talking or about my dog, but there's other content I post that's sort of educational. So I'm going to show you one post that I did a couple of weeks ago that got, I don't know, a couple hundred views.
Hey guys, so one of the fundamental questions that businesses ask me are, is it worth it for me to run ads, or should I spend that money improving my website? And here's kind of a simplified way to look at things. So the first thing you want to do is look at your conversion rate. And so what we're seeing, depending on your industry or whatever, the average conversion rate should be at least around 2%. One thing that we can do if you use forms is we can look at the conversion rate on the form. So in the case of this member form, it's converting at 0.4%. This other membership form is converting at 0.7%. Now, if my conversion rate doesn't suck like my current payment forms on my co-working space site, what I could do is actually use an ads calculator to figure out if ads are worth it for me. You got to decide where it's worth you spending your time. And just knowing a little bit of information, I think you'll be able to make a good decision. Good luck.
So yeah, so I was just kind of showing people and trying to think about your work in a way that's sort of in 60 seconds or less of content is definitely another way that has, I think, helped me sort of clarify some things about my own business, which is kind of nice. And then people, there's a whole small business community on TikTok. People post videos of them packaging up orders, about how, equipment they've bought for their business. Actually, TikTok is where I learned that this woman was talking about how someone ordered from her small business. She shipped the order, and then the woman asked for a refund from her bank, kind of stopped the payment. And so because this woman uses USPS priority mail, she was able to reroute the package to come back to her business versus going to this woman who tried to stiff her on payment and get free stuff. So anyway, so I was like, oh, that's really neat. It's not necessarily information I would have looked up or something that would have occurred to me, but I'm kind of happy to know it. And, so besides kind of sharing information and sort of resources like that, there's people who kind of share their business story on TikTok. So this is one I saw this morning, and I thought I'd share it. It's not necessarily it's cool. It's not necessarily the most compelling story I've seen, but but it'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about when I say people share their business story.
Story time. Why I quit my well-paying job to start my 3D printing business. I was a design engineer for this aerospace company that made carbon fiber parts. It was really cool work. I got to help make parts that would go to the moon. But we also worked on weapons, had military contracts. I did not like the idea of making things to hurt people. After working on nuclear weapons, my conscience could not take it anymore. I also really disliked the restrictiveness of an office job. I noticed that many people had big hydro flasks that didn't fit in their car's cup holders. So I had the idea to 3D print an adapter that actually worked well. I wanted to share it with the world, so I started Sokol 3D. Thanks to you for blowing up my last video. I can hopefully continue doing this full time. Hit the plus for cool and useful 3D prints.
Yeah, so you have a really good idea now of what this person does, why they do it, and how you can keep in touch with them. 60 seconds. And yeah, 3D printing business, it sounds really interesting. And if you look at the comments on that video, people are like, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to go to your website and buy something, or asking questions about, hey, could you make it so that we could also, sort Canadian coins instead of just American coins? And then he's like, cool, well, that's a great idea. I'll work on the design. So, basically, I guess if you're going to be on this platform as a small business, who should participate. I think it's that if you want to be a part of a sort of community of people and get feedback as you put stuff out there, I think that's kind of where TikTok shines. The thing with Facebook and Instagram and all that is it is a little bit interactive, but something about it has sort of become less so. We have to sort of schedule content or post a lot, and there isn't necessarily a lot of interaction on content. I mean, occasionally, yes, but there's kind of so much stuff that, and it's, and there's kind of some competing interests. Obviously, when you go on those sites, there's, like I said, there's a lot of ads. And if you're a small business, you probably notice that when you post stuff, not necessarily, you might have 1,000 or 10,000 followers, but maybe a couple hundred people see it. And the thing is, on these smaller platforms, I'm sure it's going to become like that. But right now it's kind of just this fun place where everyone's kind of trying new stuff and having conversations with people. And, the fact that, I've been doing these video streams, and right now they are posting to Twitter, they're posting to YouTube, and they're posting to Facebook. I've been doing these streams for about 4 months. And the average video that I do across those, it's going to 2 places on Facebook, 2 places on YouTube, and 1 Twitter account. So across 5 locations, I might get 500 views in a typical week on these streams that I do. And that's not live. That's like afterward. Most people watch it, not live, to be honest with you. And on this platform, I can post a video and get so I posted one last night, 12 hours ago, and it has 113 views on it. So my stuff is getting seen. It's not necessarily getting seen by the exact right people or people who are interested in what I'm doing. But the idea is that, this could potentially, quote unquote, go viral. So obviously, if you have a kind of business where you can ship things or whatever, it's good to be on here. But I will say I follow some real estate people, and I just follow them because they're really fun and cool. But obviously, if I'm ready to move to their area of the country, they're the kind of people that I'm going to look up. But they're not necessarily making direct sales from this, but they're kind of building their platform. They're building their audience of people who know about them. And I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, if you're on TikTok, feel free to give me a follow. You don't have to. Like I said, it's very experimental and it's very Nicole, not the business. So if you're looking for that business content, I'm sure I'll post it at some point. But, I have a couple little business videos as part of it, but it's because I was just kind of experimenting with what kind of content did well and kind of what people were interested in. So, but yeah, I've had a lot of fun on my first month on TikTok. There are times I felt really old. A big thing on TikTok is talking, Gen Z talking to millennials. And so they were giving us a hard time about our side parts. I thought I parted it in the middle this morning. Apparently middle parts are the cool thing. And skinny jeans no longer cool. So all of us millennials are well, what are we supposed to be wearing then? And then Gen Z is making response videos showing us where to get jeans. It's just really fun. And if you had the feta pasta recipe, the baked feta recipe that was on TikTok originally and went kind of viral. If you wonder why it's hard to get feta in your grocery store, that might be why. But yeah, it's just funny what little trends take off. And I kind of see them on TikTok, and then I'll see them on Facebook or on Reddit, a little bit after I saw them on TikTok. So I think that's pretty neat. Anyway, so if you're on TikTok, feel free to give me a follow. If you experiment with it for your business and get some results, feel free to let me know or leave a comment. Maybe I'll have you as a guest on the show. And if you have any ideas for content that you want me to cover, I'm going to throw my email on the screen. Just send me an email and just say, hey, I've always wondered about this. You can also, if you don't feel like emailing me, you can just leave a comment wherever you're seeing this video, and I will see comments there because I get notified of comments. So thanks again for watching. Hope to see you maybe on TikTok if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. And I hope that gave you a little bit of an idea of what goes on the platform. I'm sure there are darker parts of TikTok. I'm the person who went through high school without ever seeing drugs. So, obviously I'm a little bit oblivious to some things. So I'm sure there's some dark parts of TikTok, just like anywhere else on the internet. But I guess the parts that I've been spending time on have been fun for me. And I am looking forward to, like I said, finding some new cool small businesses to support. I actually got my lipstick at a majority Black owned, 100% women owned business called the Lip Bar that I heard about on TikTok. So it's definitely like influencing purchases, which is really exciting. But influencing purchases, it seems like, with a lot of small companies too. So anyway, have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay happy, and I will see you next week. Take care.